Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, in today's video, what's going on is we're going to be reacting to a good friend of mine. I think most of you are familiar with him by now. The GOAT, the one who has taught me how to be just really a successful YouTuber, which is really nice, just really a beautiful thing to do. So, we got Rich The Hooman here, the GOAT. And at today's juncture, we're going to be reacting to his video that dropped 6 hours ago. So it says Quax Brown is ducking me, and oh, so what's so interesting about this is Quax Brown is Max Brown. Wow. And well, for all of you who have been fans of my channel and Rich's channel, you know that our beef with Max runs deep here in the GOATS community, the gated community of North Dakota, which is south of where Dan Momot grew up, which was South Dakota. And, well, there's been a problem. Max Brown, for the last couple of months, has just been really up to some shady things. He's recently toned it down a notch. He ever since he got exposed hard, he tried to get on our good side and try to live a low life, but he he came back, symbolizing that he is really not afraid anymore. Which there's something really dangerous behind that. And when I say really dangerous, I mean it. Like, I'm saying extremely dangerous behind that. We can't allow Max to keep getting away with this. And Jesse Pinkman literally said that. He literally said in Breaking Bad, Max can't keep getting away with this. Quax Brown can't keep getting away with this. Jesse Pinkman was literally before our time. He knew what Quax was going to do. And there's just something really beautiful about that. But also, we as a community failed to realize just how serious of a problem we were in. But that's all going to change starting today. Because what we're going to do today is Rich has already went ahead and, being the GOAT that he has already dropped a video calling out Max. I'm going to help Rich out here because, I have very close ties with him. He's a great pal of mine, a good jit, a fine young soul, a bad John. I'm going to help Rich call out Max. I'm also dropping a video. 2 times the pressure, 2 times the heat, 2 times the exposing. And I don't think there's anything else left to say. Let's just get straight into this video to dissect Max.
Hey guys!
Or should I say Quacks?
It's Rich The Hooman here.
And you see, this is one of the reasons why I love Rich as a YouTuber and where I actually got my hey guys from. It was from Rich. He really just went ahead and taught me everything I really needed to know. And the hey guys it's really not what many people think of it to be. A lot of people think the hey guys is just like, some typical thing that anybody can say. No, you have to train to be able to say, hey guys. That is not something that you just get to say for free. It is not no freebie. Hey guys is a sacred thing that should not be played around with lightly. And to anybody, like for example Max, who would definitely play around with the hey guys, it it doesn't work that way. There is consequences for playing around. And Eartoss really just went ahead and showed us that in his video, his lyric video, which I will do a video on that very soon. I can't tell you when it's dropping, but it will be coming soon. We'll do a full breakdown of, Eartoss and everything that he has to offer in this community of really nice folks. But, yeah, and I know Rich made a video, breaking down Eartoss's lyrics. I want to help Rich out because, being one man running all of these great things, it's incredible, but you always need a second helper, and I want to be that helper. I want to help Rich with all of his needs, and there's really something beautiful, and that's where Chillinaughty Boxing comes in. Chillinaughty Boxing, one of the first lessons you learn is this is a place to make friends, and everybody will help each other grow stronger, which is really, really just sweet and wholesome and nice. And this is why Chillinaughty Boxing is going to be the next big thing, the next big professional sport within the next decade.
Back with another great video. Now, I was just looking at.
And What's really beautiful here is, and shout out to the GOAT while we're talking about GOATs, Hugh McNichol. And he definitely changed up the game for the better. A lot of people see Hugh McNichol as somebody who is dangerous, but I don't see him in that light at all. I think he was a misunderstood great fellow. I mean, we knew for a fact that obviously he was a brave young jit because he had the courage to just say that he was having family problems, that his wife and him were having problems with each other. And he did a really powerful thing in making a Pinterest that had, you know, a foot fetish. And it really takes a lot of courage to be able to do that. And it even takes more courage to apply to a Catholic school and, be able to get in and have no background check done on you. And I mean, Hugh McNichol is really just an example of if you put your mind to something, you can achieve it. And I mean, taking a look at this photo right here of, Donuts with Dad by Hugh McNichol, Catholic mom, obviously, and when I say this, I mean it. He's obviously the owner of Dunkin' Donuts, and he's a fan of The Simpsons. So obviously, Hugh McNichol would be Homer Simpson, his wife would be Marge Simpson, and his children would be Bart, Lisa, and Maggie, which is really, really nice.
One of the most misunderstood teachers of all time, Mr. Hugh McNichol. He really just doesn't deserve what he got.
And this is another reason why I love Rich. Because I 110% agree with him. Hugh McNichol did not deserve to go out the way that he did. I think he was misunderstood, and I honestly think he was just treated with disrespect. He talked in a way that nobody else could even capture. And, we saw something very similar like this happen last year to another fallen goat, Mr. Thomas, who was also kicked out and falsely accused and persecuted out of Archbishop Ryan, which is really, really sad to see. But, and this really goes back to the quote of all time, history does repeat itself when it isn't taught. We didn't talk enough about Mr. Thomas, and that's really my fault, and I own up to my mistakes for not covering that sooner. But at the time, I was still in training, so I really didn't know the whole entire YouTube scene, and it's not easy to come forward and talk about this stuff as it's very sensitive and even thinking about it's like even though you can't see my face, I am starting to tear up just thinking about everything that's went down. But Hugh McNichol, he had a way with words that nobody else really did, and I find that to be very just beautiful, cunning, and charming, and it's just really, really nice to see.
It's just a misunderstanding. Everything that happened to him. It's a real shame, but sometimes things just happen in this world, right?
And I really love how Rich here, has no fear in explaining that, good jits do have bad things that happen to them sometimes. And this really goes back to why Quax Brown here is causing such a big issue because we already all know this. When Quax stole the time juncture, it created evil. Evil was like brought into the world. Darkness was casted because the time juncture fell into the wrong hands. And this is why the beef isn't over. Because Quax is still ducking us and he won't even give the whereabouts to where the time juncture is. Now there is a good thing though. And that's the fact that after watching 21 Jump Street, I do know now how to find the time juncture. It really gave me a sense of justice and opened my eyes to things that I couldn't even see before until now. And I think that's why 21 Jump Street is really beautiful because it helps you come together, put your brain together, and, figure out where hidden things can be found in dark places that are not very accessible. And there's something really beautiful about that. Also, there's something beautiful about, this guy right here who's pretending to be Hugh McNichol, but he's really just a clone. Maybe this could be Kid Hugh McNichol, and, that's really, really brave of him. He has a big smile, he's really, really happy. He might not be exactly Hugh McNichol, but he wants to follow in his footsteps, which I find really, really nice, and just a lot of bravery and courage, and that's just something really beautiful.
Excuse me. So, we're back with.
And I really like the imagery here that Rich uses because I find it to be very, very, just very beautiful. Quax Brown is ducking me. And the capitalization of me here really just goes to show how serious this is. Shout out to Cool Presentation Industries for making this. They have helped a great amount on really just going ahead and providing us with these presentations that allow us to expose our greatest foes. So we couldn't do it without Cool Presentation Industries, and they're just really great people. So please make sure if you're gonna support anybody, support Cool Presentation Industries. But I really like the imagery here of having Max's true form revealed because not a lot of people know that Max is just a code name. Max's real name is Quax Brown, because he's actually a duck. He lives a fake life as a human being. And if you've ever seen Luca, this is very similar because Luca, pretends to be a human, but he's really like a mermaid. And, this is Max. He pretends to live the life of a human being when he's really a duck. Quax Brown. And, you know, I got to go over to Max's house one time, and I can confirm he doesn't even have a bed. He lives in a fish tank. So, obviously, there's been lies hidden here. Max is Quax. Quax is Max. And that's just how it goes out here in North Dakota.
Max, the Max Brown beef. You thought it was over. I guarantee you did. I even thought it was over. But
Yeah, and this is once again another really interesting thing here, and this is why I find this to be really, really beautiful, because the thing that wants to be brought up here is when you take a look at this, Quax actually made us think the beef was over. He casted a spell to make us think that everything was finally magically all over, and the truth is that's just not the truth. He was ducking us from exposing him, so we casted an evil spell. But we broke out of that because Mr. Farrington saved us. So did Dan Campos, and it's just really nice.
I guess not. You thought it was
Ooh.
over. I guarantee you did. I even thought it was over. But I guess not. Quax Brown. I'm gonna call him today because you know why he's called Quax Brown? Because he's ducking me. He's ducking me. I'll get into that.
And, that's obviously very true, and from what we've just discussed, we can see that it is true that, Quax here is really ducking, and his true form is a yellow duck, so, yeah. This is not the best look for you white now, Quacks. White now, Quacks. White now, Quacks! Yeah, this isn't the best look for you, though, Quax Brown. Um, and, you know, he thinks that his elite, like, army of just evil goons is going to do a thing. Well, it's not. I have good kids on my side. I have Chillinaughty boxing. We aren't losing to Quax Brown. He is ducking us. We're not ducking him. Just to get that clear.
That's it.
And this is another reason why I really, really love Rich's presentations and just Cool Industries presentations in general. Because, first of all, Cool Industries presentations, they put a lot of effort into doing their presentations. I mean, right there, you could obviously see that transition effect took hours to make, and we're watching it in mere seconds. You never know how good something is until you actually work on it. And Rich is very respectful here. He knows how hard they worked on this, so he decides to stay quiet and let the transition play out completely. Because that's really just showing the great young kid that he is. Do you think Quax would do that? No, he would duck the presentation because he would be too afraid to even own up to the fact that he's been exposed once more.
And I've already brought this up. You thought that the Max Brown beef was finished? Nah, it's not.
And I really like the way that he brings that ferocious D into the nah, showing that no, this is not over. And if you think it's over, well, it's not over. So, if that makes any sense, it's not over.
Finished because we always try to seek out justice in the world and just we want to make the world a better place and
Yeah, and I completely feel that. And as a official member of Chillinaughty Boxing, one of the original four founders of Chillinaughty Boxing, so you could say I'm one of the constitutional fathers of Chillinaughty Boxing. Um, I signed the Declaration of Chillinaughtiness. My signature is on there, and one of the things in that article at this juncture was we always prevail for justice. We seek justice every possible chance we get, and that's obviously very true, as you can see.
Max Brown getting exposed is a good way to do that. So, you know, it's never over, even when you think it is. And
And as we'll come to learn here, and I'm really glad Rich decided to bring this up, um, yeah, Max is being a little deviant again. So he's been proactive for quite some time, as Miss Sullivan would like to say, instead of retroactive. And, really, this is all leading down and boiling down to one factor. He's been ducking us. He has been ducking us. He's been afraid ever since he's been exposed. We hit him with a 1-2 combo punch, and he just really wasn't expecting it. And for that reason, he he didn't see coming, and it led to him having to retreat and hide for a while. Now he's finally mustered up a little bit of courage, though, to start making his move again. And we're really just playing chess here. Um, well, me and Rich are playing chess. Meanwhile, Quax here's playing checkers. We're in a whole different legion than Quax is. He thinks that he has the hand on us. He has nothing. Literally nothing. He's the inferior opponent here, and we're not about to lose to him. I am invincible, and I used to shop at Aldi, so I'm not losing.
Rich the Hooman, guys, you may be thinking, Rich the Hooman, you haven't uploaded about Max in a while. This is really kind of random. Why are you talking about him now instead of just keep talking about him? Well, I'll be honest, Max, over the last couple months, he's been a good boy. All right, he's been a good boy.
Yeah, and I'm glad Rich decided to point this out because he has been, a pretty good John for the last couple of months. But that really just goes back to show that the evil spell that he casted. And, using spells is a very forbidden type of art here. And he casted a spell that would, corrupt us, drug us, as if he was Bill Cosby, making us, think that he's been good when really he's been trying to pull off an evil scheme. And I will say this much, for these last couple of months, he's done a pretty bad job because he hasn't gotten anywhere that we haven't been able to cover. And I think this is really just going to be one of the last major blows to his ego that will make him come falling down like a Jenga tower. And, Mr. Castagwe knows a lot about Jenga, which is really nice and deserves 5 howdies. So, if you guys can right now at this juncture, go down to the comment section, the comment section, and I want you to type the word howdy 5 times. And I feel like that'll be a really empowering speech for black women, which is really nice.
Boy, I've really seen him, do anything too bad, and I even had some talks with him, and he was on the path of becoming a better soul, but
And it really pains me myself to hear this because me and Rich, we really don't do all this to Quacks because, we want to hurt him. We're not like that. We're good young jets. We want to bring out the best in people, but whenever we see, whenever we see evil things happening, bad Johns, and I'm not talking like the good bad Johns, I'm talking like the actual evil bad Johns, like Quacks, for example, really just abuses power. And we have no choice but to act and, make the tough decisions. And it's not easy to make those decisions, but what choice do we have? We have to do something. Somebody has to take a stand. Who else is going to do it? And I think there's just something really beautiful behind that.
old habits die hard, I guess. He's lying to his fans again. He said he was gonna upload 4 months ago. 4 months ago, he said I'm gonna upload in like a week.
Yeah, and, you know, it's really, really just upsetting to see this, and it really breaks my heart because Max has some loyal fans, but, his fans don't know that, he's actually unloyal to them and he's just using them to ego boost himself. And I really feel bad for his fans because they thought that here they were, conversing with a dedicated YouTuber, but no, they're talking to a phony on Wiz, and that's just. I'm not gonna discuss it any further, but if you know, you know, and yeah, it's hard to talk about without getting emotional.
Week, and He hasn't uploaded a single video since then. And he told us that his account got bought by he sold his account. I know that's a lie. He's just he just
Yeah, and I'm really glad Rich pointed that out because I was thinking the same exact thing. He did not sell his YouTube account at all. That was a complete and utter lie. He thought that was going to stop us because right here that actually shows the first sign of him ducking us because he said that he sold his account because he thought that was going to stop us or something. Well, Max, obviously I know you didn't sell your account whatsoever because you were still posting My Singing Monsters and you tried to trick us by doing a My Singing Monsters restart. I knew it was you though. I know how I can read you like a book. I took digital literacy, so I can read people online messages and interpret what type of aura it's radiating, and it was radiating like Chud Max vibes. And that's how I knew that Max obviously was lying about selling his channel. So yeah, it's really despicable what he does, but I think everybody has a chance to grow here. Max has obviously been a little misguided, and by a little I mean a lot. We're probably going to need to. I think the only way at this point we can help him is by praying the rosary for him, and hopefully with the election of the new pope, the pope will come out and say, "Quax Brown, you need to, be healed." Let's say a prayer for Quax that he'll stop and put this evil stuff behind him.
getting back to his old ways, and I'm honestly, unfortunately, I'm not even surprised, which is just the worst part about this. Now, Exhibit A about this little Max Brown situation. So on Friday, I don't know if you saw my video. It's on my YouTube Shorts.
And I saw that YouTube Shorts video, and it was really, really tough, and I do recommend to go and check it out. I think I'll actually link it in the description as well. I think I'm actually going to do that because I recommend watching it. It's a really good video on 9 Months Idol. And 9 Months Idol, we don't even have to talk about this. 9 Months Idol is just the game that helps grow good young jits. I was born on 9 Months Idol. Rich was born on 9 Months Idol. It's true. And it's really beautiful that 9 Months Idol can produce such great quality jawns. But every once in a while, you get a jawn that's messed up from evil deeds. And, unfortunately, Max was a corrupted jawn on 9 Months Idol. And that's not 9 Months Idol's fault. That's just, the players. The players in this gated community in South Florida, they cooked up Max. And they were looking to really create something evil here, and they gave him a chill and naughty persona. But let me tell you something. Personas can be changed at any moment, and I learned that in Persona 3 Reload. So, Max doesn't have to use his chill and naughty persona, but rather he can use his happy and rowdy persona, which a lot of people would really like because it really just shows how charismatic you can be. And charismatic means Riz, and Riz is really, really tough. So, I'm really happy that we can have a chance at helping a poor young soul out in the Bronx.
Page for some reason. I don't know why it's a short. Um, I had a prom on Friday. And he was there. Max Brown was there, and I had a better prom time at prom than he did because he also discredited Chill and Naughty Boxing. And that was like the debut day of Chill and Naughty Boxing. So it's really
And yeah, I just want to talk about that real quick because that's something that, that's actually one of the main reasons why I've decided to jump in on this whole beef. One of the many reasons, actually. But, discrediting Chill and Naughty Boxing is taking it a step too far, and Max knows that. You don't discredit Chill and Naughty Boxing on the day it was founded. And like I said, as a constitutional founding father of Chill and Naughty Boxing, having signed the Declaration of Chill and Naughtiness and all the amendments to it, I felt hurt and personally attacked, which is leading to me now exposing Quax Brown for what he really is. You don't discredit Chill and Naughty Boxing, especially if you're not brave enough to hop in Chill and Naughty Boxing. And we're going to get into more Chill and Naughtiness in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, Max he really thought that he had the aura to discredit Chill and Naughty Boxing, and just thinking about that makes me want to throw up. But I'm going to stay strong for you guys because you guys deserve a good video from me.
really recent. So on Friday I had my prom, and I simply just had a better time than he did. And here's some evidence. You know, I don't remember Max getting grabbed by the tie from a woman and getting walked like a dog. I don't remember him doing that.
Yeah, and even though I wasn't there on prom because I was setting up Chillin' Naughty Boxing, because Chillin' Naughty Boxing was founded on the day of prom, so me being one of the constitutional founding fathers of Chillin' Naughty Boxing, I had to be there for that event, so I wasn't able to be in two junctures at one time junction. But, I mean, I would really rally behind this and agree with Rich that this did not happen. Max did not get grabbed by the tie by any woman of any sorts. Maybe a man grabbed him by a tie and gave him a little smooch, a little peck on the cheekbone here and there. But it's just it doesn't have the same aura as a woman doing it. And to be fair, Max just he doesn't have that. So, anyways, this is another persona of Max. This isn't even Quax. This is Dax Brown, which Dax Brown means Dog Max. And Dax here did not get dog walked by a black girl or any girl for that matter. So just gonna completely regard, anything Max has to say here because, you know, Dax Brown didn't get play, Quax Brown isn't getting play, and Max Brown is not getting play. And I feel bad, but like at the same time, he brought this upon himself.
I don't remember that happening to him. So, meanwhile, that shit happened to me.
And see, this is really, really tough. And this did happen 100%, by the way. I can back Rich up on this one. Even though I wasn't there at prom, I felt it. Me and Rich are spiritually linked together. That's how we've been able to make so many of these great quality videos because our spirits are entwined with each other. So, as Rich was getting dog walked by this beautiful, respectable young woman here, I felt that all happening while I was recording Chillin' Naughty Boxing. So this really did happen, and I'm so proud of Rich. He's come so far. Round of applause for Rich. Just round of applause. He's done himself a great job, and I'm really, really proud of him. I think I'm getting emotional as I talk about it. I'm just gonna warn you. There's gonna be many times throughout this video where I get emotional because this is really, really important to me. And when you mess with something that's really just chillin' naughty to me, I get emotional and I also get extremely horny. So yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and talk about that.
And I'm gonna be honest, that was fucking hot. It was fucking hot. I can't, you know.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with you. And there is no reason to even have to lie about that because you are not Dax Brown, you are not Quax Brown, you are not Max Brown. So we don't even have lying in our traits. All we do is tell the truth and tell it good. And I can tell that it was honestly enjoyable. I think I would enjoy it, honestly. Not even I think, I would enjoy it. I would not mind getting dog walked. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, what does that even mean? Well, the answer is there is no answer. It just means what it means. There doesn't have to be an answer to everything in life. There just has to be a reason.
No, I can't even lie. Um, but yeah, so I had a better time at prom than he did, right? Now, chillin' naughty boxing. Now, if you saw my last video, you already know what chillin' naughty boxing is. It's a beautiful organization about love and respect and just.
And thank you, Rich. Thank you for really talking about that. Because that's what Chillinaughty Boxing aims to do. This is not just some fight club. The first rule of Chillinaughty Boxing is not to not talk about it, but rather to spread it because we want everybody on Chillinaughty Boxing so they can settle their disputes peacefully while making everlasting friendships and giving love to the community. There is so much violence in this world, and what we're aiming to do with Chillinaughty Boxing is remove violence completely from the world through friendships, love, and just a good time of watching people fight each other. And, there's something really beautiful behind that. And as you come to watch more Chillin' Naughty Boxing, as we come to put out more Chillin' Naughty content for all of you fellers to enjoy down there in South Ireland, you're going to see that things are pretty chill, but also pretty naughty. And there's really just a balance of those two in the world. And when there's that balance, evil is gone and goodness comes in. The perfect blend of chill and naughty.
learning teamwork essentially disguised as a boxing organization. It's really beautiful. And Chillin' Naughty Boxing is beautiful.
And I'm really would like to emphasize just how happy it makes me to hear Rich call this beautiful because Chillinaughty boxing was not something easy to come up with. This took months, years of planning to do. I was planning Chillinaughty boxing. Caden was planning Chillinaughty boxing. Owen was planning Chillinaughty boxing. Chris was planning Chillinaughty boxing before we even knew each other. We've been planning this stuff since we were straight out the womb. When I came out of the womb, the first thing the doctor said is, you might want to take a look at this. Your son is holding a clipboard with a pen that has Paw Patrol on it, and he is writing down what Chillinaughty boxing will be like in 16 years. So, that's all I really want to talk about right there.
He called the inventor of Chillin' Naughty Boxing called me in the middle of my prom, and he actually explained to me how it happened and all that. But
Yeah, and the inventor of Chillinaughty boxing, it's just really beautiful. He goes out of his way to make your presence known, and he wants everybody to, get in on the Chillinaughtiness. One of the major rules of Chillinaughty boxing is that nobody hogs chillness and naughtiness. Everybody gets to be a little bit of chill, and everybody gets to be a little bit of naughty. And that's where the beauty comes in the grand scheme of things here. Something that Quax wouldn't understand because he is nor chill nor naughty. He is just ducking us.
we might get into that in a different video. I don't really want to yap too much in this video, right? But you know, you saw Dr. Chud versus Guts. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It's just
Yeah, and Guts vs. Dr. Chud, I feel like at this juncture in time, really Guts vs. Dr. Chud shows the beauty behind everything. Instead of it being a heated, intense match where they were trying to kill each other, it was a really like just fun time, just chill, be naughty, have fun, love your opponent, become friends with your opponent, enjoy your opponent, entertain people. It really felt like we were out here in the GTA 6 trailer. And Chillin' Naughty Boxing will be coming to GTA 6. Rockstar Games just hasn't talked about it yet, and I don't even think I'm allowed to be talking about Chillin' Naughty Boxing being GTA 6 yet, because that is a spoiler. So, I'm sorry that I did bring that up, but I just couldn't even contain myself anymore. I was at the climax, and I had to let it all out.
beautiful. I know I said beautiful a lot, but it's really the only word I can describe it with, right? So yeah. And so this ties in into the story of how Max ducked me. I keep calling him.
This is going to be a really, really good one. And I just want to point out real quick that Cool Presentations Industries is really, really good at finding just great images to depict what needs to be talked about. Because Big Rubber Duck, well, Max is big on ducking the hard stuff in life. He hides from it. He's cowering right now in fear, quivering, shaking his legs because he is afraid, because he knows that the bounty hunters are coming for him. He knows that the headless horsemen of WWE are showing up for him. Big E is not even laughing at this. He actually wants to get Quax Brown. And there's just something, really beautiful about that. And we really want to hear Rich's story, so let's get right into this.
Quax Brown throughout the video, and I haven't explained that yet. So this is the time I explain it, right? So essentially, I saw what was going on at Chillin' Naughty Boxing, and I wanted a part of it. I'm a matchmaker now, and you know
By the way, I can confirm that this is all true. He is an actual matchmaker of Chillinaughty Boxing. He was completely cooperative, and I was really, really happy with, his cooperation for being Chillinaughty, and I'm really, really proud of Rich and how far he's come in this community, in this league, in this sport. And, this is something that I think deep down Dax Brown wishes he could achieve, but his quaxiness is not letting him do it because he's a quasi-quacker.
I set up a badass card with a bunch of badass fights. It was
And I'm really glad that he talked about that because it's true. The fights are looking really, really sick and sweet. And something about being sick and sweet is really hot and sexy, which I really, really like.
amazing. It was just something that was absolutely incredible. But and the main event was meant to be me versus Max Brown to finally, settle the beef, right? And I knew he'd have been hesitant because he pretends to be a pacifist, right? Obviously, he's not a pacifist because of all the
Yeah, and once again, thank you for pointing that out, Rich, because Max really tries to play that he's the innocent victim here, but he's really nothing more than a sly trickster. He's shown multiple times that he tries to act like he's done no harm, but then when he gets aggressive, like for example when he dropped that expose video on me and Rich, so he got aggressive there and then deleted the video to try and play victim. It was already too late. You were exposed. You should have thought sooner. And once again, this is just another time where Max has failed to, really try and play the victim here, as he's been the one who's, shown his true colors, that he is trying to be aggressive. He wants all in on the action. He wants the smoke. And while the smoke's coming to him, in the form of just 50 million little pixie dust fairies all dancing while eating Honest Kids apple juice, which tastes really good.
evil and heinous things he's done. He sold a time juncture, etc., right? But
Yeah, and I've already talked about that a bit, but stealing the time juncture is just, it's not a small scale crime. That is punishable of death, and we're not going to kill Max because that would obviously be taking things too far. But stealing the time juncture is not something you just get to live with and think that everybody's going to forget it. I got my eyes on you like a hawk, Quax Brown, big rubber Quax.
I wanted to settle this beef, and I even tried to convince him. I told him that I would pay him $20 to fight me. Not even
And you see, right there, that's actually really, really insane because, first of all, Chillinaughty Boxing, we don't even wager money for the fights. We don't even wager money for the fights of Chillinaughty Boxing. So the fact that Rich here was so brave and courageous to not only just call out Max, but literally pay him to try and get him in the ring, that's just a work of art right there that nobody else can really perfect.
to win. $20 to just show up, right? And he still didn't go for it. I said I would.
And yeah, I mean, obviously this shows the first major sign that Max is ducking because if somebody's paying you $20 to show up to an event and you're still not going to go do it, then I mean, you're or not even are you? You're basically just saying, "Yeah, I'm afraid." So, obviously this is the first major sign of Quax Brown ducking.
Completely stop harassing him and all that. I even bumped it up to $40 eventually because
Now, $40 to show up is just an insane amount of money. Because first of all, like I said, Chillinaughty Boxing, we don't even wager money. So the fact that you're even getting money, let alone $40 just to show up to get yourself beat, is crazy work. How are you not accepting that? Are you really that afraid of getting your face punched, Quacks? Maybe it's because he's afraid that if he takes any physical damage, he'll revert into his real form, which is a duck. But at this point, I don't think you have anything to be afraid about, Quacks, because we've already figured out your multiple different transformations and how you aren't a human being. So that's okay now. But if I do see you on Bad John's Playground, you will be getting put on YouTube. So I just want to let you know that.
me and this guy called Chris Gutter. Um,
Yeah, and I was just talking about Chris, and Chris is Dr. Chud, and Dr. Chud is Chris, and I feel like they're just perfect for each other. And as Chris being the founder of Superbad, having a little bit of everything in him from Superbad, he's really just a tough, young, respectable jit, and he really will just make major impacts to this league and its players.
we went and talked to him. We tried to convince him to do it, to end the beef once and for all, and it just didn't work. So afterwards, I texted him. I said, I'll bump it up to 40 bills rather than 20 bills.
And I mean, look at how much work and effort Rich is putting in just to fight Quax Brown. The fact that Quax here is ducking when he's getting called out so heavily like this, and for 40 bills, just for showing up to get himself beat up, he gets $40. You're not taking that. That is the most major. Yeah, you really are a big rubber duck because you are ducking harder than I've ever seen in my life. You're ducking harder than like if this was D-Day and there was people just firing machine guns. Even they didn't duck as much as you quacks.
Bills. And still, he was not going for it. He didn't want to do it. He's just he's ducking me. It's really the only fact of the matter. And I honestly get it, but it's cowardly. It's not really a thing a true good John would do, you know?
Yeah, and I completely agree. A true good John does not, cower in fear at a challenge. A true good John stands up when he's called out and he responds. He responds in a respectful way, of course, because, true good Johns, all they know how to do is be, nice and respectful. They don't bear any evil or hatred in their heart, but, like, Max here obviously is ducking and he's just really afraid, and I don't know what more I can really say besides Max is hiding and cowering in fear.
But also make sure to be watching my fight versus Guts because that was my replacement opponent because Max was ducking me.
Yeah, and Rich is a great friend of mine, and me being Guts, we're just gonna have a fun time with each other. A really light-hearted, lovely match, and Rich is a really talented opponent, and I'm really looking forward to having my second fight. I think this is going to be a really good learning opportunity for the both of us to bond even more. And, this is something that Max could get in on if he wasn't, ducking 24/7. But unfortunately, that's just not how, life works out. And Rich made a really good point earlier how he said sometimes things just don't work out how we want them to in life. And well, for Quax, obviously his life is not working since it's built on lies and hiding.
John Jones, Tom Aspinall style, and we're two young jits from Florida that just want to show our talents to the world and have a lot of
Yeah, because we were both trained by Dan Momon in Florida, so it really means a lot of us to just go ahead and show off our capabilities and what we can do. And I find lots of like giddy pleasure in that and just enjoyment, and it's really nice. And like I'm saying, this is the community Quacks could be a part of, but he's afraid. He's afraid of the beast within. And the ferocious beast will not wait for its opponent. It will chew you up and spit you out if it has to. But I guess that's the life you just gotta live sometimes. You gotta live fast and dangerous, like Fast and Furious. But Quacks wouldn't know that since he ducks.
respect for each other, and I think that's beautiful in its own right, other than just like a pure blood feud, right? But but I have a final offer to give Max. I'll bump it up to 50 bills to fight me, you know?
And come on, you're getting half of 100 bills just to show up and hop in a ring. This isn't even professional boxing. Although, when you're facing off against somebody as great as Rich, I can understand why you would be afraid. Well, I guess to be fair, I wouldn't really know because I would not duck my opponent. That's just extremely naughty and disrespectful to them, especially when they're offering to pay you $50. Come on, Quacks, what's going on? I mean, I know you can't think on the same level as us because you're not like us. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. Quacks ain't like us, but he could be one of us, but he constantly chooses not to, which is really sad. But I mean, things happen.
And keep in mind, all of the other fighters on the card are not getting paid at all.
And this is exactly what I mean when I say Chillinaughty Boxing is non-profit. Nobody gets paid for these fights. They just show up for friendships, love, and fun. That's what we do this for. To make like a change in the world. And you know, Quacks here, obviously, on the other hand, he doesn't really understand anything about that because, he thinks that he's supposed to be getting paid or something for, showing up to a fight. That's not how it works. You're not getting paid money for this. And I mean, the fact that Rich is even willing to take his own money just to get him to show up, I don't know what you're so afraid of personally. I really don't get it, Quacks. I just can't understand you.
Meanwhile, I can't even. He said, "Oh, give me 100 and I'll think about it." No,
And that's just completely unrealistic. Give me 100 and I'll think about it. First of all, when he's ducking a fight, I don't see how, thinking that you have the ability to demand 100 bills and saying that you'll think about it when you're ducking a fight. Well, where do you even get off on that? What is the logic behind that, Quacks? Because I would really like to know. I might have to write a book on this. You know, this could be a summer reading book. The Inside the Mind of Quax Brown, a deep dive, written by fellow good jits in Florida, because, this is really interesting and shocking to me.
get the fuck out of here, buddy. Kick rocks.
Yeah, and honestly, that would be my reaction because this really just, it doesn't make any sense to me. 100 bills just to think about showing up to a fight. No, that's not how it works. You were offered $50, take it or leave it. That's what you got to do. And there's just something really beautiful behind, getting offered $50, but you can't start calling the shots when you're ducking a fight, and that's just the truth.
Pal, if that's really what you want to do. Because I'm not paying you 100 bills to beat your ass. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, and I completely understand what Rich is saying here, and it's really beautiful that he's, saying this because that is something that needs to obviously be talked about and mentioned is that you can't just be, you know, calling the shots when you're ducking. That's not how it works. You work on the person who's calling you out on their time. You work around their schedule. You don't work on your own. It's just crazy. Yeah, I think I do. No, I'm good. Yeah. All right.
he's just scared, and I understand. But 50 bills, and I'll just the emails will cease.
What? No.
The harassment will cease.
Night, mom.
The
Love ya.
bombing of your house will cease, and I think that's a good deal. I don't know why.
Yeah, and I agree with Rich here on what he's saying here. It sounds like a really good deal to me, and I would be one all for this. Honestly, I would accept this offer in a heartbeat if somebody gave this to me. You don't see me getting any offers like this for chillin' naughty boxing when I go on for my fighter matches, but you know, I don't care. That's the difference between me and Quacks here. I don't need bribes to get on. I get on because I do this for the people. I do this for my friends, my community. Quacks is doing this for his own selfish ambitions, which is why he's getting knocked out in round one. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest here. If Quacks does hop in the ring with the Rich, I'm predicting within 10 seconds, not even any headshots, literally with just a body shot, Quacks is getting the wind knocked out of him and he's dropping straight to the floor. And we're just going to have to end the match right there because, we don't want to see anybody get hurt any further. We don't promote violence on Chillin' Naughty Boxing, but we do teach lessons to people who need them.
Why he would decline it, but there's an offer, I guess. But let's be honest, chat. He's too scared.
Yep. And you couldn't put it any better, Rich, because he really is just scared. He really is just scared. And, I think Quacks and this young fine black soul here, I think they really both have a lot in common with each other of, ducking. And there's really just an interesting way of looking at all that and just dealing with what you have to deal with from all that. I would say I'm a fan.
Just like this guy right here. How scared he is to fight Tom Aspinall. Because he know both of them. They know they'll lose. All right. Tom would destroy John Jones. He's an old man. Tom is just super quick for heavyweight, and Max just. I mean, he's Max Brown, so I don't really need to explain that. But
Yeah, and I don't think you could have put it any better. Max, he's just Max Brown. And that's just the truth. He is just Max Brown at the end of the day. Nobody else. And that's really just tough, and I really love it.
But it's something that's really angers me though because Chill and Naughty Boxing should be where the best fight the best, and he's making it. He's making.
Yeah, no, 100%. Chillin' Naughty Boxing is not just like, yeah, sure, it's like amateur, I guess you could say, like because we're not actually officially broadcasted. But let me tell you something. Once you really get into Chillin' Naughty Boxing, you start to realize that this is not no amateur, league. We got people who are willing to put their lives on the line to make an impact in this world, in this community, in this game. It's a lot more bigger than you think it is. You just have to be part of it to understand it.
It a joke, and that really angers me because this is something that I fucking care.
Yeah, and I didn't even mean to cut Rich off like that. I'm very sorry. Please forgive me. But I really care about Chillin' Naughty Boxing as well. So to see Max treat it as if it's some sort of joke, I don't know where he gets off pulling this sick prank. I didn't treat his My Singing Monsters stuff as a joke, did I? No, I put research into that, John. I was up until like 2 in the morning studying that John just so I could expose him. I didn't take his expose video as a joke. I clapped right back with a 1 hour, John. So the fact that he has the guts, pun right there if you understand, and the fact that he's just gonna do that though and make a joke out of us. Where does he get off with all this? I want to know. I want to know. Where are you, Max? I need you to show up so you can get knocked out by Rich in 10 seconds in round one.
Care about, man. I care about this shit, man. And
And you can tell that this is really sentimental and emotional to Rich because he's tearing up as he talks about this. So, Quax, I suggest that you never mess around like that again because I don't even promote jumping, but I will get the ops to come after you. And trust me, the ops are hungry and they are looking for a pack to smoke. And that pack could be you.
the fact that he's ruining it like this just makes me very angry. And yeah, it pisses me off. Anyway, thanks for listening, chat.
And this is one of the biggest reasons on why I love Rich as not just a friend but a YouTuber. Who else do you know who is willing to put this in? Thanks for listening, chat. Goodbye. Such a heartwarming send off to just an absolute crucial and detrimental video to the community of Chillin' Naughty Boxing and how Quax Brown is ducking Rich The Hooman. And, I'm just really glad to see how far Rich has come. And I've said this multiple times, but he has the opportunity to become a great player in this league.
Thank you everybody for listening to my little TED talk here. It makes me.
And the way he says TED Talk is just really, really powerful. It is emotional and something that a bunch of people can really just rally behind and support, which is always great. That's always what you want.
Truly happy that you would listen to me. And Max Brown, he's just a thief. He doesn't understand why he would do this, right? He's scared of me. He's a coward. He's a liar. And everything that anybody's ever said about him is true because he's just not a good person, all right? And that's the end of the story.
Yeah, and I completely agree with Rich, and I'm going to let him wrap things up here because it seems like he's about done, and I myself am pretty much about done here, but I do want to say that, yeah, right now Max is definitely not acting like that good jit that I thought he could become after getting exposed, and this really just makes me go back to thinking to myself, how many more times are we going to have to expose you, Max? How many more times are we going to have to call you out and make YouTube videos before you finally start acting correct? It's May. You got to get your act together, dude. We don't have much more time left to expose you while we're still in school, but if I have to, meet you up at the top and, just go ahead and expose you over the summer, then so be it. I will drop a video every single day exposing you, so take that with a grain of salt as an open wound as you're sitting on the beach with your toes in the sand frolicking in the ocean, because meanwhile, while you might be in Cloud Cuckoo Land, I'm down here at Bad John's Playground and getting ready for you.
Max Brown, come fight me. I know you're scared. Come on, buddy. Goodbye, everybody.
And, after Rich just dropping that beautiful message right there, I have nothing else left to say. And, you know, something about that is just really, really beautiful. And yeah, all I really wanna say is just, Max, you know what you gotta do. Come face Rich. Stop ducking. Quacks. Pull up or get pulled up on. Your choice. Thank you guys for watching.